Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to create an amazing Christmas shadow box. Let's dive right in. I am thrilled to finally share this video with you. It's one of the first videos I made for my blog, but I never got around to uploading it. To start the shadow box, I began by creating the floor using a balsa wood sheet to replicate the hardwood look. Balsa wood sheets are soft, lightweight and of model grade quality. To cut the sheet, I use a cutter instead of scissors to ensure even cuts. To maintain uniform lengths, I utilized a scrap piece of paper as a guide. If balsa wood isn't your preference, there are various alternatives such as wood patterned paper, stamped wood patterns on brown paper, or even hand-drawn wood patterns. I then used a glue gun to glue the pieces to a paper wide enough to fit my frame. Now onto the fireplace. I repurposed an old cardboard box. I love recycling materials for projects because I don't want anything going to waste. After cutting a few frames for the fireplace, I applied wood clay powder for a rock texture. Alternatively, modeling paste can be used with a sponge for added texture. To improve the process, I suggest gluing all the pieces together before adding the paste and using a glue gun throughout. I used regular glue, and even though it did the job, it took forever to dry. While the fireplace elements are drying, it's time to create the brick background. I took brown paper, painted with red ink to give it that aged brick appearance, and then cut the paper into brick-sized pieces. Once again, I used one piece as a guide for the others. Afterward, I glued these pieces onto the black background paper. The next step is to paint the fireplace. I aim to achieve a stone fireplace appearance, focusing on natural brown tones. I began by applying a white base and then added a layer of cream. If you prefer a simpler look, you can stop at this point. However, I wanted to add a little extra flair. I introduced splashes of various shades of brown here and there. Following that, I painted the individual stones using grey paint initially, then incorporating black and brown. If the final result seems too intense for your liking, you can use diluted white paint to tone it down. Now it is time to deck out the tree. I left enough cord to cover 3 sides of the frame and wrap the remaining around the tree. This might squeeze the branches a little bit, but I didn't mind that. Also, adding a decorative ribbon for some festive vibes was a must. And I didn't stop there. Let's be real, every Christmas tree needs some balls. Here's a fun fact, I repurposed pearls from an old necklace. Nothing goes to waste in my crafting world. Simply add some glue to the branch and stick on the pearl. To top it all off, I added a polymer clay star on the tree. If you're not into polymer clay, you can use a star-shaped bead or cut out a paper star instead. Finally, assembly time! Let's kick things off by gluing the lights around the frame using your trusty glue gun. I opted for a delightful pink paper for the background, giving it that charming old-fashioned wallpaper vibe. With my glue gun, I attached the wooden floor I crafted and secured the tree onto it. Now, onto the final touches for the fireplace. I used a tank depressor for the mantle. A tip for easier cutting is to soak it in water for a few hours. Then I added a decorative step around the fireplace using balsa wood. Tossed in a few bricks for the fireplace floor and cut a couple of twigs for firewood. If you're feeling extra, you can introduce red felt or paper flames. I skipped this step to keep my shadow box from being too overly decorated. I spiced up the mantle by adding candles crafted from pouring melted wax into straws. In hindsight, painting thin glue gun sticks might be an easier alternative. If I were to tackle this craft again, I'd probably go for that trick. If you're into candle holders, oversized beads make a great choice. And for that final flourish, throw in a vase with dried flowers, securing the flowers with craft glue. Putting on the finishing touches, I included some presents and a round mirror. To give the mirror a framed look, I glued it on a round piece of wood. At this point, I felt my Shadowbox was missing a little something. Then it hit me, it needed some Christmas stockings. I had some red scrap felt, so I cut it into desired shape. You'll need 2 pieces for each stocking. Simply sandwich them together and add some cotton to give the stock some volume. For the first 2 pieces, I opted for gluing them together to form a stocking. However, to allow more room for filling, I sewed the other 2 pieces together. And for that final sweet touch, I threw in a candy cane lollipop. Creating this DIY was an absolute blast. I hope you had as much fun as I did. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to show your support by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. See you next time!